Welcome back. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy, and today we're going to do a shoe review on a very special pair of shoes. This is a pair of Acme Wholecuts that I had commissioned. I'll put the last and info into the description, but I really wanted something different. My Williams are a kind of a soft chisel, and I wanted something that like really reflected a hole cut, and I really went back and forth for quite a bit of time as I was commissioning these, trying to decide whether I wanted to go the seamless hole cut route. Now, seamless would mean that there's no seam in the back, right? And I decided not to do that. I elected different types of extras on the shoe, though. I wanted to make sure that I had the nice fudging on around there. I had a really cool beveled waist, with a blind welt, just pitched heels, really very clean. And I wanted to have a custom patina, which I found a pair of shoes that they did in this patina, but it was a totally different kind of shoe. And so I asked them to be inspired with that pair, and they did really well. Now, if you looked at my last two videos, which were about caring for this before this review, I had a big scratch that was here. And as you can see, still there, but it's much more reduced. And as we think about how we all like to have polished and shined shoes, it is a subjective thing, right? I like my shoes to look really clean, but I don't want a super high shine on them. Other guys want to be able to, look in the mirror and be able to see their face in their shoe. So it's very subjective, but what I like is I like the color variation in the patina to really shine through. So I work really hard on patina shoes like this, not to go too far. Now, when I say patina shoe, what do I mean? If you look at the shoe, there's a lot of color in the shoe. And like here, you can see some green, you can see some red, all this brown, and like it's kind of like an amber. It's got all these colors kind of moving together and around the shoe, and it creates a really interesting vibe in the shoe. Now, not like Museum Calf, which is pretty uniform. This has a lot of things within the shoe itself, and you can tell that this is all colored by hand, which is and here I'll try to give the light along here so you can see it. Just a lot of really cool colors. So it's a great way to individualize your shoes. It's the common French method of everything being your own. And these have a bevel on the sole instead of a fiddleback, which I thought was also an interesting thing to do. And, really solidified Acme as a maker for me that could produce this beautiful bespoke level shoe on a ready-to-wear last. Now, I sent Acme a video of me wearing these shoes and my Williams, and the next pair of shoes that they're making for me, which is a very special reverse stitch Adelaide, is going to have some made to measure adjustments. It's also going to be on a totally different last because I wanted to try the heavy chisel. So super excited about that project. But for this one, let's talk a little bit about, the 6 things that I try to cover in my shoe reviews: the leather quality, the coloring, which I think we pretty well covered, the quality of the shoe itself, the extras, the fit, and the wear. So let's talk about leather, right? This leather has gotten some really good micro creases. You can see that there are some places where it has a little bit more room than others, but it's not bad. And the creasing itself for a hole cut is what I would consider to be minimal, because hole cuts have nothing there to prevent creasing, right? If you're talking about an Adelaide or a Capto Oxford, this part here is all sewn together. It's a different piece. This is one piece of leather, so it has nothing to do but crease while you're wearing it. And when you wear it, the leather should move around a little bit because your foot is moving, right? So in my mind, this is really minimal creasing. And the leather itself, the quality is great. So you don't see a lot of crease on the leather either. Now, it's also super soft. The lining on this is super soft. I could go barefoot in these shoes and my feet not be bothered, which is saying something. Now, I tend to wear socks with them. They're pretty high end and I don't want to ruin them. And that's more of a statement on my feet than it is based on the shoe. The color we talked about. The quality of the construction overall is very, very good. Now as you look at the upper and trying to define bespoke quality, there's not a lot outside the sole that you really can see here because there's not a lot of stitching, except for the edge, which of course is very well done. The sole itself with these beautiful pitched heels, the blind waist, the sole itself really wears well. I find everything on it to be absolutely perfect for what I want. And I have to keep in mind, this is a handmade shoe. This is not a factory made where, they've got, I think, a dozen workers that touch the shoes, but this is, they're not using a lot of machines to do things. Now they use machines for buffing and stuff like that. But overall, this is as close to purely handmade as you can get without it being one person carrying the shoe from place to place to place and doing everything. So it is hand clicked, etc. Now they do use a sewing machine on the upper, etc. So in terms of fit, I've been pretty happy with the fit on these. And I took these in a 10. They wanted to use my St. Crispin size, which makes a lot of sense. In the, I would say that I have a little bit of room here and here that they could take back maybe, a millimeter, but not a lot. And mostly I have problems here because my foot is a little bit wider. My right foot is actually 0.5 centimeter wider than my left foot. And, that is mostly this direction, not this direction, right? So it's something that they look at, and I'm leaving it in their capable hands to make those adjustments. But I do think that that's something to think through. And then, of course, the wear itself, as I said before, the creasing on the wear, the sole wear, all of that stuff is well within my tolerances and what I expect from a shoe. I mean, these are a year old. They don't look it, right? So, and I have worn them, a dozen times all day, like every day. So, really not every day. Obviously I have a rotation between shoes, but I'm very happy with the shoes themselves. I'm happy with how they take polish and how they shine. The patina itself, I'm pretty cautious about messing with, but if it was looking dry or something, then I'd have no problem putting conditioner on it and doing whatever I need to do in order to clean them up. So very happy with these shoes. I think that they are absolutely world class. Now they are almost a couple $1,000s. So like 1,800 or so. So this is not an inexpensive proposition, right? And when you get into shoes this pricey, it's very, very hard to distinguish between, like a $1,100 shoe or even an $800 shoe in terms of all the different pieces that are different, because it's not big things. It is a lot of very small things. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's, people actually doing all of this stuff by hand versus using machines to do the work. So it takes longer and is worth more. So Acme shoemaker out of China, fantastic quality, fantastic wear, just lovely, lovely shoes. I can't speak highly enough of them. And I prove it because I just bought another pair. So thanks again for watching. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy.